Hi, and welcome to my abundant7.com YouTube channel. The limitations of magic is what I will be describing today. It can be described with the PSI uncertainty principle. This is a principle that the universal mind uses in order to not violate the rules of this virtual reality. The rules that explains our physical materiality is for the most part what scientists have found out. Our reality, physical materiality, PMR, is a subset of a bigger reality, a non-physical reality. The reason we live in or are incarnated into a physical reality is that we are able to learn and grow in this reality frame. This reality frame, PMR, is designed to be for the most part physical and dense. We have the rules of gravity and time and space. It is not possible or either practical if you were to, for example, walk outside and suddenly found yourself on another continent just like that. These rules and laws are here in this PMR to be of practical value, but since PMR is part of a non-physical reality, NPMR, paranormal events and experiences may come and go from time to time. But you're not getting cars to levitate before a camera on CNN, for example. It can't happen. The last example will not happen because the universal mind, or the simulator, would never let a thing like that happen or be manifested. I have another YouTube video that will teach you more about how to manifest whatever you desire. Now, if someone highly evolved, aka grown up or very mature, in their consciousness, try to demonstrate psychic abilities to a group of people interested in this topic, they may actually succeed. It is possible to witness or be part of paranormal things or powers, but the moment you try to replicate these things in controlled condition, it will not work. The reason that it doesn't work is it will then violate the other rules that the scientists have found out about our reality, and these rules can't be openly violated. If it were that these rules could be openly revealed, our dimension would lose some of its attributes and definitions. Growth is an individual process, and every human being is being supported by the consciousness system or the universal mind and simulator, either through tests, paranormal events, synchronicities, guides, intuition, and other mechanisms to nudge people in the right direction towards growth. I will talk more about the reason behind spiritual experiences in another YouTube video. If people with paranormal and magic powers were to force their knowledge visually to others on a global scale, the growth pace of each individual would also not work as designed. This principle, science uncertainty principle, can have the effect that some results may take place, but the very second the experiment or event is being under controlled or being measured in some way under observation, it will have another outcome. There are, of course, many charlatans in the jungle of alternative people and methods, but there are also those people who can do these things that are paranormal. They don't violate the rule set because of it is somewhat hidden. They don't affect the globe and the whole society in a drastic way. The scientific paradigm is basically telling us that we live in a physical materiality with physical laws. Demonstration of PSI would then violate these laws and affect society at large. The truth is that we live in a bigger reality. The truth reveals itself and gets manifested in ways that are just enough for people to get it, but at the same time not enough to change the society at large. The best proof for a person in his or her own growth process is experience something firsthand, as seeing is believing. The people who experience their paranormal are in an individual growth process, and it is for them and where they are in this process, and not for the rest of society, for all the people who may not be ready for that. People are not over or under each other in the growth process, just in different places. As mentioned before, you can be super evolved, loving and mature without any type of paranormal abilities or experiences. But if you want to understand and seek this, you might get a small hint here and there and paranormal experiences. The science uncertainty principle also makes it possible for some people to believe in phenomena and for others to be skeptical of it. For believers, they want to physically prove PSI to the rest of the world. They can see their own ego in the need for wanting that. They really want to prove it. You know, it's interesting because you can do it, have it, and see these things for yourself and with like-minded people. So why the need to change the rest of the world? The PSI uncertainty principle works in this way. It makes it possible for people to live in the same world, and for both the believers and skeptics to have it their way. The believers may experience this in a context where there is uncertainty. People with PSI powers may do it alone, in groups or on TV shows, for a larger crowd also. But because of the uncertainty around it, aka the lack of control conditions, it doesn't prove anything. As long as these phenomena do not prove anything, and I talk about real hardcore proof, they can happen. As long as they happen in areas where there is uncertainty, it can happen. The skeptics have to be able to say, oh, that could be random, that could happen anyway, this person is not credible because of X and Y. These pictures are blurry and probably fake, oh, this can be faked, etc. As long as the society at large doesn't get affected by the PSI phenomena, the PSI uncertainty principle is in play. Look at all the different paranormal situations and that they are always surrounded by a high degree of uncertainty. Here are some examples. Pictures of ghosts are always blurry. Flying saucers, meaning physical craft, are not being studied openly. And the stories about abductions tend to not prove anything. And fantastical stories are often told by shady characters. Cameras of paranormal ghosts or other things are almost blurry and can, in theory, be faked. This is not hardcore proof. And see how people who have paranormal abilities can't do it under controlled condition. See how psychic information and magic can be accidental or good guessing. And if under bigger research, it will be brushed off as not effective, etc. And the people that can do stuff, surprisingly enough, will not get tested, are in a shady conspiracy theory or in a secret society. So, see how your manifesting skills doesn't prove anything to the world at large, but it proves something for you. See how your out-of-body experiences may prove something to you and your friends, but nothing else to the rest of the world. People could always say that they are all lying. Understand that to use paranormal skills, it has to happen with a high degree of uncertainty. You can combine the uncertainty principle with the growth principle. The uncertainty principle means that it works best in an uncertain situation. Another way to describe an uncertain situation is to say that it is a high probability of the desired outcome to happen. Here are some examples of performing magic or mind over matter. To manifest a meeting, for example, a girl or a friend out in a nightclub, has high probability. Manifesting better health for a person or yourself has high probability. To manifest a lucid dream, dreams, by the way, are uncertain. Influence a person's behavior can also go because people are uncertain. And by the way, I will teach you more about lucid dreaming in another YouTube video. Now, if you can levitate stones, it is a dumb idea to show off this in a controlled condition, because it won't work, it won't count, or it will manifest in some other way that it will not be effective. it will not be shown to the world and society at large. There might come a time in the future where the PSI uncertainty principle is not as tight as now. If the major population grows up, these rules may be looser, and the paranormal may be more available. And by the way, many believe there was a time in the distant past where there were looser rules, where PSI and paranormal events and entities were more present on this earth. Then something happened, people got materialistic, greedy and so on, and the level of consciousness fell. The utopian world sank, and the spiritual reality got stricter. Now we have it pretty strict, dense, as explained, with the PSI uncertainty principle. This was all for now, and if you like this YouTube video, please share with your open-minded friends. Thank you and goodbye.